Imagine this. It's early 2026. You've got 3 kids, a couple of bikes, a dog, and a trailer full of weekend projects. And sitting in front of you are 2 keys, one for the all-new 2027 Kia Telluride and one for the redesigned 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Same corporate family, same basic mission, 3-row, near-luxury family hauler. But now both have gone turbocharged, both offer hybrids, and both are trying to convince you they're the smarter long-term buy. In this Autopedia deep dive, we're going way past the brochure. We'll break down platform, dimensions, engines, hybrid systems, off-road hardware, cabin tech, safety, and daily usability of the 2027 Telluride and the 2026 Palisade. By the end, you'll know exactly which one fits what kind of buyer and where each one quietly pulls ahead. Let's start by making sure we're talking about the right vehicles. The 2027 Kia Telluride you see here is the second-generation model, unveiled at the 2025 Los Angeles Auto Show. It's scheduled to go on sale in the US in the first quarter of 2026, offered with a new 2.5-liter turbo engine and, for the first time, a turbo-hybrid powertrain. On the Hyundai side, the 2026 Palisade is an all-new generation as well. Longer wheelbase, stretched body, new design, and again a big technical change under the skin. The old V6 is replaced by a SmartStream 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder, plus an optional 2.5-liter turbo hybrid system, both detailed in Hyundai's official global catalog and hybrid page. So yes, these are actual announced production models, not speculation. Now let's put them nose to nose. Alright, step back and look at them from the outside. The Telluride keeps that blocky, upright SUV vibe, but Kia has sharpened everything. According to Kia's own press release, the 2027 model goes for a chiseled look, with a broad hood, vertical headlamps framing a high-gloss grille, and very sculpted fender creases. Flush door handles, similar to what you see on the EV6 and EV9, clean up airflow and help drop the drag coefficient from 0.33 to 0.3, so it's a big brick that's actually been aero-optimized. The X-Line and X-Pro trims go further. Blacked-out wheel arches, dark beltline trim and D-pillars, raised roof rails, a mesh-type grille, and on X-Pro you get wider all-terrain tires and a serious 9.1-inch ground clearance. Visually, the Telluride is aiming straight at the rugged, adventure-ready niche, even in the family configuration. The Palisade, in contrast, leans harder into the luxury Range Rover-ish thing. Hyundai's global design page calls out a commanding stance with vertical brilliance, a widened body, increased wheelbase, and a very strong use of vertical and horizontal lines front and rear. The front end is basically a wall of grille bars and stacked LED elements. The rear and side keep that upright silhouette, but the detailing is more polished, less outdoorsy, and more executive shuttle. Dimensionally, this is where it gets interesting because both brands clearly benchmarked each other. In Kia's own numbers, the 2027 Telluride now rides on a 116.9-inch wheelbase and an overall length of 199.2 inches, which represent increases of 2.7 inches in wheelbase and 2.3 inches in overall length over the previous generation. That extra length is used to improve second and third row legroom and access, and to add cargo space behind the third row. The all-new Palisade sits at 5,060 mm in length, 1,980 mm in width, 1,805 mm in height, on a 2,970 mm wheelbase, regardless of whether you choose the turbo or the turbo hybrid. Hyundai, in other words, on paper the Palisade is almost exactly the same length and wheelbase as the new Telluride once you convert the units. Both are firmly in the big 3-row category, not pseudo-crossovers. Cargo-wise, the 2027 Telluride offers 22.3 cubic feet of cargo space behind the third row on the gas model, about 21.3 cubic feet on the hybrid, 46.3 cubic feet with the third row folded, and 86.9 cubic feet maximum with both rear rows down. Hyundai's global catalog for the Palisade lists cargo volume in liters in some markets, but the big takeaway is that both SUVs prioritize a usable trunk with the third row up, and both use the increased wheelbase to make that space less of a token shelf and more like a real luggage area. Now, let's get right into the heart of these things: powertrains. Kia has thrown out the old naturally aspirated 3.8-liter V6 and replaced it with a new 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder as the standard engine. Officially, this engine makes 274 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, routed through an 8-speed automatic to either the front wheels or an available all-wheel drive system. Torque is up by about 49 pound-feet compared with the previous ICE setup, which is important in a heavy 3-row SUV. That extra mid-range twist is what gets you off the line and up to highway speed with a full load of kids in gear. On the hybrid side, Kia combines that same 2.5-liter turbo with a 1.65 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery and an electric motor. Total system output is a quoted 329 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque, running through a 6-speed automatic transmission with available all-wheel drive. Kia estimates up to 35 miles per gallon combined and roughly 600 miles of total driving range for the EX FWD hybrid on 18-inch tires. Not EPA numbers yet, but they give a good picture of intent. This is about V6 plus performance with significantly better efficiency. Hyundai's 2026 Palisade takes a very similar approach, but the calibration is slightly different. From Hyundai's official catalog, the main gasoline engine is the SmartStream 2.5-liter TGDI turbo four-cylinder, making 281 PS at 5,800 RPM and 43.0 gram-4 of torque from 1,700 to 4,000 RPM. That's a little more peak power and torque on paper than the Telluride's 2.5 turbo, and it's paired with an 8-speed automatic and either 2GUV or UNBA, depending on trim. The Palisade Hybrid uses a closely related 2.5-liter turbo hybrid setup. Hyundai lists the engine itself at 262 PS with 36 kilo-meters of engine torque, plus an electric motor rated at 54 kilowatts and 264 newton-meters. System output is quoted at 334 PS at 5,800 RPM. Officially, Hyundai claims up to 1,015 kilometers of range for the hybrid in certain markets, thanks to the more efficient hybrid system and a carefully tuned energy management strategy. So if you look at it purely in numbers, the Telluride gas has slightly less power but still strong torque, with a focus on broad drivability and towing. The Palisade gas edges it on peak output, which suggests Hyundai is giving the Palisade a tiny advantage for passing power and high-speed cruising. On the hybrid side, the Palisade Hybrid system output, 334 PS, is marginally higher than the Telluride Hybrid's 329 horsepower, while Kia is targeting slightly better rated MPG in its US estimates and focuses on that 600-mile range claim. But raw numbers don't tell the whole story. To really understand how these two will feel, we need to look at how the chassis, suspension, and off-road systems are set up. Underneath, both of these SUVs are doing the same basic dance: unibody construction, independent suspension at all four corners, and sophisticated electronics managing traction and ride comfort. But the way Kia and Hyundai talk about the tuning tells us a lot about their priorities. Kia explicitly calls out a new rack-mounted motor-driven power steering, RMDPS, for the 2027 Telluride, replacing the previous column-mounted setup. Moving the assist motor to the rack improves steering precision and feedback. You get better on-center stability at highway speeds and more accurate response to small inputs, something you really appreciate when you're hustling a 3-row SUV through a long curve or around a tight on-ramp. The suspension is tuned with family comfort and towing in mind. Kia highlights an available self-leveling rear suspension that maintains a consistent ride height when the vehicle is loaded or towing, contributing to confidence at up to 5,000 pounds of towing capacity on the gas turbo models. The hybrid can tow up to 4,500 pounds. That's a clear signal. Kia expects a lot of owners to tow campers, boats, or utility trailers and has calibrated damping and rear suspension accordingly. Hyundai's Palisade takes a slightly more tech-heavy approach to the same problem with what it calls Preview Electronic Control Suspension and a suite of eMotion and eRide features. According to Hyundai's performance page, the Palisade uses electronically controlled dampers that can adjust in real time to road conditions, aiming for both smoothness and stability. On the Palisade Hybrid, Hyundai adds eComfort Drive, eRide Gen 1, and eRide Gen 2, software strategies that use the hybrid powertrain and suspension control to reduce pitch over speed bumps, smooth out undulations, and keep the body more composed on rough surfaces. Hyundai. The result, at least in theory, is a ride that actively manages body movements to keep passengers comfortable, particularly in the second and third row. When it comes to drive modes and terrain modes, both vehicles are playing in the same sandbox. The Telluride offers multiple drive modes and, in X Pro trim, a multi-terrain Abibod mode, plus a new eLSD system and off-road vehicle status screen. The system can actively distribute torque not only front to rear but also side to side, and the X Pro's Allbod with center differential lock can hold a 50-50 torque split when needed. Hyundai matches that with its drive mode terrain mode selector on the Palisade, giving you presets for auto, mud, sand, and snow, and visual feedback on the digital cluster. Hyundai Palisade doesn't talk as loudly about hardcore off-roading, but it focuses on traction control logic and H-Track Allbod tuning to make slip control smoother and more predictable. If you're prioritizing adventure and rough road work, Kia is clearly pushing the Telluride X Pro as the halo. 9.1 inches of ground clearance, wider all-terrain tires, front and rear recovery points, and a ground view monitor that uses cameras to show what's happening under and in front of the vehicle at low speeds. Hyundai's approach with the Palisade is more subtle. It's capable, it has terrain modes, and AWD. But the front-facing marketing is still premium family SUV rather than overland light. Now, let's climb inside and talk packaging, because this is where a lot of buyers make their final decision. Kia describes the interior of the 2027 Telluride as a dreamer's sanctuary, and that actually lines up with how they've redesigned the cabin. There's a curved, wraparound dashboard with a panoramic display setup, available dual 12.3-inch digital screens running Kia's latest connected car navigation cockpit, CCNC, operating system. The surfaces use wood-like textures and hidden door handles integrated into the armrests for a cleaner look, and there's a grip handle on the center console that nods back to the original Telluride. Noise, vibration, and harshness get serious attention. Triple door seals, thicker glass, and expanded sound-absorbing material to create a hushed cabin. That matters when you're mixing a smaller displacement turbo engine with a big cabin. Kia is compensating with more isolation so the driving experience still feels premium. Seating is where Kia leans hard into the comfort angle. The 2027 Telluride offers available front relaxation seats with power leg rests and an ErgoMotion driver's seat that uses air pockets for massage and support. Available power-operated second-row captain's chairs with individual heating and ventilation. Available heated third-row seats, which is rare even in luxury segments. Kia also notes 8-passenger seating with class-leading second-row legroom on the gas model, which is a strong statement considering this segment. Hyundai's Palisade cabin goes in a similar direction, but with a slightly different flavor. The global brochure highlights a panoramic curved display, Nappa leather options, double-glazed soundproof glass on the windshield and first and second row doors, and a high emphasis on material quality. On the seating side, the Palisade offers heated and ventilated first-row seats, ventilated second-row seats, and heated third-row seats in higher trims, matching the Telluride's focus on rear seat comfort. Multiple interior color themes and quilted Nappa upholstery, especially on prestige and calligraphy trims. Where Hyundai really puts its stamp is on convenience tech baked into the physical cabin. The Palisade features second and third row power seats with remote folding, so you can reconfigure the cabin layout from the cargo area or the front. It also offers things like walk-away auto lock, digital key 2.0, and in-car fingerprint authentication that can be used to start the car, unlock valet mode, or confirm payments. Kia counters with things like a 2-tier sliding tray in the second row for storage, dual wireless charging pads in the front, and smart cargo solutions. The cargo area behind the third row gets a folding luggage table with integrated cup holders and a lower storage compartment with removable dividers on ICE models. These are small, practical touches aimed at families who live out of their trunk on weekends. So in summary so far, Telluride pushes a slightly more rugged look and off-road capability, with a big focus on ride isolation and towing. Palisade pushes an even more upright, luxury-leaning design, with smart comfort tech, power seats everywhere, and digital convenience features like fingerprint start and enhanced digital key. Next, let's talk about what happens when you actually start pushing buttons on those big screens: infotainment, connectivity, and safety tech. Both of these SUVs understand that, for many families, the screen experience is as important as the engine. But again, they go about it with different personalities. In the 2027 Telluride, Kia's CCNC infotainment system stretches across more than half the dashboard in its panoramic dual 12.3-inch configuration. It supports over-the-air updates, meaning the car's software, from maps to certain feature sets, can be updated without visiting a dealer. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard on all trims. Kia even builds in a generative AI voice assistant that you trigger with Hey Kia, capable of natural language queries and some playful functions like voice games. For audio, an available 14-speaker Meridian system with a larger 10-inch subwoofer handles entertainment for the whole cabin. Kia also leans heavily into connected services and streaming. The Telluride supports entertainment and data services that allow streaming platforms like Disney+, Netflix, and YouTube right in the vehicle. Plus, downloadable display themes based on all 30 NBA teams and some Disney IP. That's clearly targeted at tech-savvy families and long-distance road trippers. On the access side, Kia offers Digital Key 2.0 using ultra-wideband technology, so you can use compatible smartphones and even an Apple Watch as a key and share these keys with friends or family. There's also Kia MyQ connected garage integration that can automatically open or close your garage door based on vehicle proximity. Hyundai's Palisade is just as connected, but its ecosystem has a different label. The Palisade uses a panoramic curved display tied into Hyundai's BlueLink My Hyundai connected services, and the official brochure shows deep integration with the BlueLink store for downloadable functions, display themes, and Streaming Plus streaming premium packages. Those packages support video and music apps such as YouTube, Netflix, Disney+, TV, and others, essentially turning the Palisade into a rolling living room when parked. Hyundai also emphasizes in-car payment via the My Hyundai app and built-in payment systems, allowing things like fuel or parking to be paid from the infotainment screen in compatible regions. Digital security and access in the Palisade are on another level. Digital Key 2.0 that works with phones and smartwatches. An in-car fingerprint authentication system that can be used for startup, personalized profiles, and certain payment functions. In other words, Kia's Telluride goes hard on entertainment and AI convenience, while Hyundai's Palisade adds another layer of secure, personalized access and commerce. Now, whichever one you choose, safety and driver assistance are non-negotiable in this segment, and both brands know it. On the Telluride, Kia lists a long roster of standard and available ADAS features, Highway Driving Assist and available Highway Driving Assist 2, which help maintain distance, lane position, and can assist with lane changes in certain conditions. Lane Following Assist to help keep the vehicle centered in the lane. Forward Collision Avoidance Assist with enhancements for junction turning and cross-traffic scenarios. Blind Spot Collision Warning and available Blind Spot View Monitor, which uses cameras to show live images of the blind areas. A rear occupant alert system that uses in-cabin radar to detect movement in the second and third rows and can escalate from visual reminders to audible alerts and even smartphone notifications via the Kia Access app. The 2027 Telluride also includes 10 standard airbags, including a front-row center airbag, designed to reduce impacts between driver and front passenger in certain side collisions. Kia explicitly says the structure targets IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the highest rating in that system. On the Palisade, Hyundai's official safety page highlights a similar safety net philosophy. Every row gets seatbelt pretensioners, and the vehicle is equipped with 10 airbags, including a driver's knee airbag and second-row side airbags. Hyundai's Smart Sense suite on the Palisade includes Highway Driving Assist 2, HDA2. Like Kia's, it maintains distance, speed, and lane position on highways and can support automated lane changes with the indicator on and hands on the wheel. Forward Collision Avoidance Assist 2, FCA2, adds more collision scenarios, including oncoming traffic and intersection support. Lane Keeping Assist, LKA, and lane following functionality to prevent unintended lane departure. Blind Spot Collision Avoidance Assist, BCA, that can apply brakes if a collision risk is detected while changing lanes or exiting a parking space. Navigation-based Smart Cruise Control, NSCC, which anticipates curves and speed limit zones based on map data and adjusts speed accordingly. Reverse Parking Collision Avoidance Assist, PCA, to warn and brake if an obstacle is detected while reversing. On top of that, there are convenient safety hybrids like Safe Exit Warning, which warns occupants if a vehicle is approaching from behind when a door is opened, and Surround View Monitor plus Digital Center Mirror, which provide more situational awareness through cameras and a digital mirror display. So practically speaking, both SUVs give you 10 airbags and a very deep suite of advanced driver assists. Both have active highway assist systems, advanced collision avoidance, and protection for rear occupants. Kia leans heavily on rear occupant radar and extensive towing off-road safety aids, while Hyundai leans on smart sense integration, predictive cruise control, and very robust camera-based visibility. Alright, Autopedia verdict time. But remember, this isn't about naming a universal winner. It's about picking the right flagship SUV for your use case. If you prioritize towing and outdoor adventures, a more rugged visual character, especially in X Pro trim, a slightly simpler but very strong turbo powertrain, plus a hybrid with excellent estimated MPG, a cabin tuned for low noise with class-leading second-row legroom on the gas model and wide-open cargo solutions, then the 2027 Kia Telluride is the family tank you're probably leaning toward. It's the one that feels most at home towing a 5,000-pound camper up into the mountains, then streaming Netflix on the campsite while the kids crash in the third row. But if you prioritize a slightly more formal, luxury-leaning image, think executive shuttle as much as family hauler SmartStream 2.5T, tuning with a bit more on-paper power, and a hybrid system that emphasizes smoothness and long range, extensive seat power adjustment, and remote folding across second and third rows, deep digital integration with fingerprint authentication, powerful BlueLink services, and rich streaming and in-car payment support, then the 2026 Hyundai Palisade is probably your better match. It's like a tech-heavy lounge that just happens to have 3 rows and a terrain mode for snow days. The real story here is that Hyundai and Kia have moved their big 3-row SUVs into a new era. Both have ditched the old V6 formula and gone for high-output turbo 4s with sophisticated hybrids. Both have stepped up cabin tech and connected services, and both are openly competing with vehicles wearing far more expensive badges. So which one would you pick for your driveway? The more adventurous Telluride or the more polished Palisade? Let me know down in the comments which way you're leaning. What matters most to you? Towing, tech, comfort, or style? And which one you want to see us drive and test instrumented next? And if you found this deep dive useful, don't forget to subscribe to Autopedia so you don't miss our full driving impressions when these hit the road.